My family and I just got back from seeing Blue Beetle, and I have to say, this is one of the better DC films this year. Blue Beetle, of course, has had a long history in the comics, first with Dan Garrett, then with Ted Kord, and then recently in 2007 with Jaime Reyes. And Jaime Reyes, as well as Blue Beetle, makes his debut on the big screen for the first time. His second live-action appearance after Smallville. This time we have Cholo Maridueña playing Jaime Reyes. Many fans of Cobra Kai know how much he gives the heart and soul to that show as Miguel and how much he kicks ass. He brings that here to the role of Jaime Reyes. And what I like about this film is that it could be both the DCEU and the DCU. It's not the first film in the DCU, but it's the first character, and one thing that the director does a really good job of here is making a standalone adventure. So if you're a fan of a film like Shazam, you're going to like this film. It has a blend of Shazam, Iron Man, Ant-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming with a bit of Power Rangers, Beetleborgs, and Star Kid and the Guyver. You know, it's like a blend of everything that you love from the genre. And some people may say it's cliche. I don't care. It's just a fun, heartfelt comic book movie. And it was great seeing Palmera City. You know, it's a fictional city where Jaime Reyes is from. And in the comics, it's Texas. In the original comics, he's from El Paso, Texas. And as a Texan and a Mexican-American, growing up, I related very much to Jaime Reyes. And there's a lot of nods to the comics, the Injustice 2 games, and many others, but it's pretty much your basic origin story. The cast is a wonderful cast. We have Bruna Marquezine as Jenny Kord, the daughter of Ted Kord. Her aunt is pretty evil. Susan Sarandon as Victoria Kord is just a really bad person, to say the least. And then we have Raul Max Trujillo as Carapax. He's a very good villain in this. There's a lot of armor. It's very much like Ironmonger, but there's a really tragic backstory to his character. In addition, you also have the Reyes family with Adriana Barraza as Nana Reyes, Belisa Escobedo as Milagro Reyes, George Lopez as Rudy Reyes. He does have some of his George Lopez humor, but his character, once it starts getting more to the tech side of what Rudy is capable of, he really becomes like the center of the family in many ways. Damian Alcazar as Alberto Reyes. He plays Jaime's father, and he has some wonderful scenes here with Cholo. I love their scenes together in this film. Then we have Elpidia Carrillo as Rocio Reyes. And then, of course, Becky G as the voice of Kaji Da. And this is directed by Angel Manuel Soto, and he does a fantastic job directing this. No matter what background you're from, every Latino watching this, it's going to have something for you. Every family. You don't have to be Latino to enjoy this movie. This is a heartfelt family movie, and it's pretty much your standard origin film. I love seeing Jaime. He graduates from Gotham City Law. There's many references to the DC universe with Central City, Metropolis, and other things that you see in the background. But Palmera City is pretty much like a fictional, like Latino paradise where it's like a bit of Miami, a bit of Barcelona, a bit of El Paso, and it's just like a melting pot of culture. But we get to see where Jaime Reyes is from. Gentrification has happened in many ways, and you get to see how modern and progressive Palmera City is to the rich. So there's a lot of issues that are presented here. It's not exactly in your face, but they're presented in this movie. Jaime graduates college. Like many of us who graduate college, he's not in a place where he thought he would be. You know, he's trying to help out his family. He loves his family. He ends up getting an interview for Kord Industries, and that's where he meets Jenny Kord, and she basically decides to steal this scarab. She knows that her aunt Victoria Kord is trying to steal the technology of the scarab to make an army, a one-man army. She wants to make an army of elite soldiers to basically conquer and protect the city and the world, basically. So she gives Jaime this scarab. Of course, this scarab chooses him, and he has to learn how to bond with it and run from these people from Kord Industries that want the power of the scarab. And he also has to not only learn how to navigate the powers of the Blue Beetle, but he has to also figure out his identity as an individual and his purpose in life. And that's something that's beautiful. That's in parallel to his hero's journey, so to speak. Sometimes at the beginning is a little bit rocky. It takes a while to get into it. But once the second and third acts hit, this film is a lot of fun. There are some heartfelt moments. Get ready to bring your tissues. There's some heartfelt moments here, and I won't go into spoilers till the end of this video, but there's some moments that caught me off guard. This film is deeper in some ways than I was expecting it to be. But if you're a fan of the Blue Beetle comics, whether it's recently or when they first came out, you're going to love this film, not only to the mythos of Jaime Reyes, but to the mythos of Blue Beetle. There's a lot of references to Ted Kord. His presence, while not being in this film, his presence is still felt in this film. And I just love all the Easter eggs and references to the Blue Beetle comic book history with Dan Garrett and Ted Kord. Uncle Rudy does have some funny moments. Culturally, you know, no matter what background you're from, there's a lot of stuff. If you grew up as a Latino, you're going to see a lot of stuff from your upbringing, you know, or if not from somebody else's upbringing, you know, and that's one thing I love in this film. It's handled with care. It's handled with heart. And like I said, you don't even have to be Latino to enjoy this. This is just a heartfelt family movie. You can get behind this family as if it's your own family. And Jaime is just trying to like figure out life like we all are, you know. Is it going to be a game-changing film in many ways? No, not entirely. But if you love comic book movies, and if you've been on this journey that we all have for the past 20 years and the past 10 years in the DC films, this is one of the better ones, and it's just a great moment to see Jaime Reyes and Blue Beetle be on the big screen for the first time, you know? Representation matters, and that's one thing I love about this film, is that it's representation that's not done in a negative, stereotypical way. It's done with a lot of care. And while other films have done it in the past, we just haven't seen enough of it lately. And that's one thing I like about this. And again, Xolo Maridueña, he was born to play Jaime Reyes. He embodies the character Jaime Reyes that you see from the comic books. And it's just great seeing his arc in this film. And I'm ready for the final season of Cobra Kai. For the Cobra Kai fans out there, you know how badass he was as Miguel. He brings that again, like I said earlier, to the character of Blue Beetle. And I like the Scarab history. Hopefully we'll see the Reach in the future for those who know. But overall, this film is a perfect standalone movie. So if you want to have it in the Henry Cavill, like Snyderverse or the DCU, you can. If you want to have it in the DCU, you can as well. It's almost like that nexus point where it could be both a DCEU movie and a DCU movie. And most of all, it's a DC film. And a superb one, I might add. If I had to give Blue Beetle a score, I'd give it a 4 out of 5 and an A. It was a really enjoyable film, and I wasn't really expecting much, you know. There's going to be a lot of negativity towards this film with the reboot, with people being bigoted jerks, and just people who are just running from superhero fatigue. I'm tired of superhero movies, but I have to say, CGI-wise, effects-wise, this looked better than The Flash, even though Flash had better, like, action-packed, had more action-packed epic moments. There's still enough here, and for an HBO Max movie, originally it wasn't going to be an HBO Max movie, this was incredible. You can see why they decided to bump it up and roll the dice on a theatrical release. I'm so glad I got the McFarlane figure with a sword. Just seeing the weapon assortment, seeing the Injustice 2 combos put into this was as cool as seeing like Black Adam with Dr. Fate doing his Injustice 2 moves. Like, oh my god, I can't wait to see more of this world. And not only could it be a solid epilogue to the DCEU and just kind of like standalone feature, but this could be an amazing start for what could be the DCU. And we'll just have to see. Regardless of what universe you're rooting for, what you want, I'm just happy to see a good DC movie, period. And I'm glad that the director not only handled the culture and everything with care, but also provided us an adventure that anybody could enjoy, and it could be standalone, you know? And it's going to be interesting to see the future of this world of Xolo Maridueña as Blue Beetle, as Jaime Reyes, and I hope he gets to play with the big boys with all the toys. Seriously, I cannot wait to see this cast, this family, and Jaime Reyes return in the future. If you're a fan of comic books and Blue Beetle, give it a chance. My theater wasn't that packed. I got a drink and popcorn bucket, but my family and I enjoyed it, and there were some great moments. And I have to say, like, part of me and my family felt like we were kind of seen a little bit in this, you know? And it was nice to have something that wasn't like some Mexican guy's a drug dealer, you know? It's nice to see something positive and less stereotypical. Anyway, those are my non-spoiler thoughts of Blue Beetle. Feel free to check out the other videos at the end of this video for more content. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of Blue Beetle once you see it. And if you want to know what I think about spoilers here, we're about to enter the spoiler section. So here we go. So now Blue Beetle, it really surprised me. I really love the presence of Ted Kord here. I have a theory. We have a mid-credits scene where he says, "Ted Kord, tell my daughter Ginny, Ted Kord's alive." I have a theory that he might actually be in the future with Booster Gold, and I wonder if they're going to tie that in with the Booster Gold show. I just have a theory, since they're best friends in the comics, that Ted Kord has actually been in the future this whole time. I can't wait to see him come back, Ginny have a larger role, and maybe Ted Kord being a mentor slash friend to Jaime now that he has control of the Scarab, because, Dan Garrett and Ted Kord, Ted Kord at least didn't have control. I love seeing the ship. It got some Watchmen vibes, and that's a wonderful popcorn holder at places. I didn't think I was going to like George Lopez in this, but he even surprised me. After they got done with his jokes, they felt like they kind of had to do the George Lopez gimmick with one-liners, and after you got past that and got more to the technical kind of government paranoid side of Rudy, it became funny. The villains, were they the best villains? No, they didn't do anything groundbreaking, but I thought they were mean as hell. Susan Sarandon played an evil part as Victoria Kord here. And there's very much the theme of imperialism here that we saw in Wakanda Forever or Black Panther. Carapax had a tragic backstory with his injuries, his mom getting bombed, him getting taken from his village and just kind of like taken to an American school and everything. Like that whole subplot there with Kord Industries was just tragic. Nana, they could be a Nana prequel film. Seriously, she was awesome. This, the family was great. And when Jaime Reyes' father passed away, that was an intense moment where it just broke me, seeing the fire, him having a heart attack, them beating him up, and Jaime not being able to save his father. That was this hero's tragic origin story. And Carapax said his love for his family makes him weak, and Jaime is right. The love for his family indeed makes him strong. And this movie was a blast. I enjoyed it. I'll definitely be getting it on Blu-ray. And I love the suit, the wings, everything like that. The backstory of Ted Kord, Ginny Kord. And the references, Uncle Rudy, Batman's a fascist. I don't agree with that sentiment, but, some of our uncles say stupid shit, so that's given. But I love the references to Superman in Metropolis, Flash in Central City. Seeing LexCorp next to Kord Industries in Palmyra City was cool because, we got to see Kord Industries in Man of Steel, so that was nice. The reference and nod to El Paso, Texas, with them living on El Paso Street. Overall, what can I say? This was just a fun movie, and it was a fun time at the movies. And with DC's luck lately and all the divisiveness and the news, it was nice to see something that was standalone and positive. And Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle has a film. Who thought that would have been possible? Thank God it wasn't like Green Lantern. Like, seriously, I like this film. This was a lot of fun, and it'd be fun for the whole family if you go see it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about Blue Beetle down in the comments below. Beware of spoilers, for other people who haven't seen it. But those are just my thoughts. Again, a 4 out of 5 and an A. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Till next time.